Jacqueline Masters Fry, Unit 6, Curriculum Models, DETLs. This evening I'm going to look at different types of models, focusing on the product model and the holistic model. I'm putting that into contents, giving my approach and an evaluation of my approach. For me, the product model is a model that I have very little experience with. I see that it can be very driven by the teacher. The teacher sets the objectives and fills the students with the knowledge to achieve those objectives. And I believe one of the negative effects of that could be that it stifles creativity in your delivery. However, it has been used for many centuries, and the background of this model comes from John Locke and his transmission model of filling up the empty vessel, and the empty vessel being the student. The learning outcomes are very precise, and the way that it's assessed is generally summative. And I feel that the students are mainly listening, and the teacher holds all the power and is at the front of the class. And the students generally have very little say in the way that the objectives are set. It sits very well, I believe, with secondary education. In fact, that's where I recognise it most from my own experience of secondary education and A-level delivery, where at the moment that is being criticised heavily by Michael Gove, and he's really looking at it and with a team, and they're going to restructure the way A-levels are delivered, because they say that students are learning how to answer questions rather than learning knowledge. So it's under scrutiny, and they are going to examine it very closely. It used to be considered the gold star of education, but now that's under review, as I said. So the students are generally left out of the picture. However, it is seen as a way into further education, higher education especially. So that's what I know about the product model. A model that I'm more familiar with and I'm more comfortable with is the holistic method. And I have quite a lot of experience of that because I teach in a vocational setting. And it's something that I personally connect with because I learn very actively. And I think with a holistic model you can take that model and you can break it up and almost you can develop the whole student with it. So you can start with a very personal, social type of learning context, and then you can build upon that and move on to the more academic model, which is where the product model sits more, I feel. The holistic model, in my experience, looks at the student as a whole person and focuses on relationships and interactions. And it's a very two-way relationship, really. The power is shared in the classroom. Students can learn in a way that suits them. It's very inclusive. I have embraced this model, and I've used it in a way, particularly this year more, because I'm so confident in it, in a way where I've actually offered my students a chance to set their own objectives. And I've tried that out, and that's a new thing that I've done this year. Last year, I wasn't so confident, so I've allowed my students to choose their assessment methods, and that's why it's so creative and it works so well. So you're building with the holistic model the whole person, which looks at them as an individual, and it develops them ready for the workplace. And with the vocational study method that we use, they go out into the workplace, so it's so meaningful. The theory they learn in the classroom, they put into practice in a real-life context. It makes sense to the learner. However, that might not suit everybody, and it has been criticised because it's been said that some students don't strive for excellence. They're not competitive. They don't become leaders. So it takes that edge out of some students, whereas other students, develop very well from it. But I feel the one criticism could be that you're not going to produce a strong leader for the future. You might produce someone a bit compliant and easygoing.
From the holistic?
Yeah.
Why would that be?
Because you develop the whole person and you're not striving for an A grade or 100%. It's not based on stats or results, and it is based on. You can base it on results, but generally it wouldn't be. You don't get. There's not an opportunity for competitiveness. I don't feel. I think it could reduce that. That's just what I feel.
So someone theoretically could academically underperform, but in terms of their own communication skills and confidence and things like that might well have improved because of this model. But are you saying as a consequence of that they might not be able to progress?
Yeah, because I think you could lose some of that edge if that's the way you... Because I'm quite a competitive person, but in the classroom context I'm not. I see us all as equals. I see us all, if whatever ability we are, we all have something to offer. Whereas I don't think it would suit anybody that's, especially with my own teaching style as well. It suits my teaching style, but maybe if I had a different teaching style, I wouldn't manage in a holistic classroom so well. It would go against what I believed in, because they're all striving to get that gold star in A levels and achieve the qualification. So
is competition a good thing?
I think it's necessary, and I think in society as a whole we need those leaders. But I like the democratic aspect of a holistic classroom where everyone's got something to contribute and to offer and is valued. But I'm not sure whether that one type would suit all.
Sorry, Jackie, with a holistic approach, could you not be competitive, though?
You could be.
Could you not create a sense of competition?
I think what the teacher does is develops a person so that they achieve the best that they can.
Yeah.
But without that, you're the best in my classroom, and you're in my top 10 or something. There's no ability range evident.
But wouldn't they all be striving, if you're all setting their own goals, that they're all striving for their own thing, so surely they're all still trying to get to something.
In their personal way, yeah.
But it might not be the qualification.
Obviously there are objectives that have to be met, but they're met in a very different way. We go a longer route to get there, I feel, because we're building on all the other important aspects, like, being supportive, being cooperative, and they develop their learning skills along the way. They might not, when they arrive here, they've probably got a lot of the skills that they haven't got when they're here, so we develop those social, emotional skills that they need for the future.
Does this model take account of social and cultural demographics? So
I believe it can if it's in the vocational context, because they go into the community and they're working in that cultural context, and it suits them because they're going within they're staying within their community, and often it's been proven that people that learn in the community, as Ness said, give back to that same community. That's been proven in research.
I don't think I made myself particularly... No, it's my fault. I didn't think I made it clear. So in that sense, when you've got a new cohort of learners, that culturally